Here we go. I'm Bob Bakert with Jazz Guitar Today. We're here with Rez Abbasi, New York-based musician, guitar player, obviously, producer, multi-instrumentalist, all-around cool guy. And
So, well, that's true. No, I think that's true. Yeah. Multi instrumentalist, though. Wow, that's.
well, you studied tabla.
Oh well, yeah, but I wouldn't ever call myself a tabla player. That was sort of amateur world for me. But it was more about just sort of getting a little bit into the head of that kind
I,
of thinking.
I know I had to kind of pull on that string a little bit because I took drums for the same reason.
Oh yeah, of
I
course.
um I was in jazz school and I I couldn't figure out what the heck the drummers were doing. I had no idea what was going on.
I still can't
Yeah, right. So I so so I said,
these
well,
days.
I'm gonna try to learn something here. So I took about a dozen drum lessons and I confirmed my suspicions that I'm no drummer and it don't have the knack for it. But man, do I appreciate the guys that do. Anyway, so for people that don't know you, I'm gonna just read a little bit here.
Okay.
This is straight out of your biography. People can get it. You were born in Pakistan.
Yeah, originally. Yeah.
Yeah. When you were 4, you moved to Los Angeles. At the age of 11, you started learning guitar, like so many of us.
Yeah.
You started playing rock. Boy, that's a surprise.
Like so many of us.
Like
Yeah.
so many of us, inspired by Ella Fitzgerald and Joe Pass.
After the rock, yeah.
Yeah,
That
after
was
the
that
rock.
was
Yeah,
one
no,
of the things that
yeah,
veered me into jazz.
yeah. I
Excuse me.
thought, wow, that's pretty heady to go to to be a rock player and then listen to Joe and Ella because that's pretty sophisticated. I mean, that's not like I got there via Coriel and Pat Martino and McLaughlin and kind of like the rock thing.
Yeah, that's I
But
know
you,
that's usually the case.
yeah, but you deep dived right into Joe Pass and Ella. That's
Yeah, it was sort of after Charlie Parker, and then because I couldn't see Charlie Parker, right? So because he was
yeah.
gone, but my friend took me to this concert in Los Angeles, and of course Joe. I mean Ella, of course, is amazing, but Joe was, as a guitar player, was the one I had my eye on. I was thinking, oh my god.
He's still I still go what
Yeah, it's true. It's
what
yeah,
um anyway,
something that great.
so getting back to you, you studied University of Southern California and the Manhattan School of Music, so you moved around a little bit.
Yeah, I got best of both,
Yeah, that's very
coasts.
cool. And you don't have an accent, which is really great. You've got a very medium accent.
No,
Um, and then you went to India to
yeah.
study.
After college, instead of getting, well, after my bachelor's, instead of getting a master's, I sort of got it in India. And
Yeah,
I wish I did both at this point, but if I got my master's, then I wouldn't have gone to India probably because it was just the timing was the right thing. So
yeah. No, I listen. I think I won't say I think you chose wisely. I certainly
it
worked out for you. So
was a great trip. Yeah,
yeah, no, I mean, it's like there's a lot of guys that went to Berkeley for a year and they've had
right.
great careers. It's just
Yeah,
it's a matter of what you need at the time. So
totally.
so you're I've been listening a lot to your music.
Oh well, thank you.
Well, no, it's kind of what I do. Kind of check it out. I'm glad you have a lot of videos because that's really where I go. I'm not interested in listening to people's CDs so
Well,
much.
you like the visual
Well, I
contact
want to
and
see how you connect with your instrument. I want to actually see that. I want to
oh,
see
that's
how you
interesting.
connect with the other musicians. I want to see if you're playing with other music. I want to see if you're playing in front of audiences. How do you
Right.
connect? How do you see? I don't view the guitar anymore. I used to as something that you physically learn to do, and it's an athletic endeavor. I can throw the ball farther, I can hit the ball harder, I can
I
run a
know,
mile
believe me.
faster. I view it as a way to connect with the universe, and connect with the
Yeah,
rest of us and all of that. So
very cool.
so I'm I'm interested to see that. I want to see you connecting with your instrument, whether you're in a studio, you're in front of people. I want to understand how your heart is connected to what your body is producing. So
Yeah,
that's why
that makes sense.
that's why I prefer video. Well, I'm an actor as well as a musician, so
Oh, wow.
I don't
That's
think I was quite that frou-frou, before I became an actor. So, but
well,
anyway,
no, that's very interesting. Yeah.
um, so your newest project, yeah, I mean, you've studied and played, and we all know that. You're also something that's pretty impressive, and you're a Guggenheim Fellow.
Yeah, for composition. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not for guitar playing.
no,
for yeah,
for
but
people who don't know what that is, um, that's a way for the Guggenheim folks to support people financially to do basically, if this was science, it would be research and development. So they take
yeah.
somebody that they believe is doing something new, exciting, and important, and they go, we know there's no money in this right now, and to keep you from delivering pizza, um, while you're creating something for the world to appreciate and behold, and something that we believe is important, we're going to give you money to help you stay alive.
To eat more pizza.
And so you can eat more pizza, right, and not go hungry. And that's what it's all about. And it's a very, very competitive thing, as you can imagine. There are a lot of artists that want in on that. And you are one of them and that achieved it. And so that's no small feat. What that tells me is that people a lot smarter than me have analyzed ad nauseum, probably, your contribution, your music, your approach, um,
Yeah.
and said, this guy is an important guy. So there you are.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean the application is, complicated. I mean, there's a lot of avenues to show them, your whole repertoire, your recordings, who was on the records,
Right.
where performed it first. I mean, you got to answer all these questions, and uh, so it is a very thorough criteria. There's no doubt about it, and I'm surprised I got it. I mean, it's because so many people don't. It's like, wow, like I have a lot of friends that I'm actually writing letters. I write their, you have to have recommendation
Right.
letters. So
Yeah.
I've written a lot of those, and say, okay, this guy or this girl, this is the, this is a great application. I recommend this highly. I wrote a bunch of stuff. They still haven't gotten it. So, uh, when you bring it up, I don't think of it, but when you bring it up, I am, it is a decent feeling that I was chosen for one of those.
Well, decent feeling is is
I
a
mean,
is an understatement.
I'm trying to be humble, but
I know
I
you
don't want to
are.
over.
I'll just say it for it's a hell of an accomplishment,
I appreciate
and
it.
it puts you in the top, that percent of
Mm.
musicians out there in the world, and so it's a big freaking deal. So let's talk about you, this project, and the music. First of all, how would you describe your music?
I mean, to be as blunt as possible, I would describe it as undescribable. Because I don't think that's not to be
No,
facetious or anything, but
I'm
that's
taking it in. Go ahead.
yeah. It's it's because I don't really think in terms of genres. That's almost cliched at this point. But even 30 years ago, I never thought of even within jazz. There's so many areas that why would I call this fusion and that straight ahead and this free jazz, let's say, that's if that was a term, uh, and then this retro, and then there's so many subdivisions that don't really make sense when you step away from it. Now, when you're in it, it kind of feels like you're playing a bit of a role. So I never wanted to feel like I was playing a role. So I always thought of all music, you know, as one.
Right.
But now that's not to belittle what people have brought to the music in terms of their personalities, and it sort of galvanized this particular sound of theirs. I mean, I definitely have artists that I that I hold my head to, and I look towards as like the revelatory artists that shaped my my musicality or my decisions or whatnot in music, or my aesthetic and all that, the choices. Um, but so that's why I say it's undescribable, because I don't want to be in that sort of go down that rabbit hole of like, okay, oh, this was this project and this was this project. That's probably why I play a lot of different guitars too. Like this last record is an all acoustic steel string acoustic guitar record. Now that doesn't have, there's nothing in the book that says that's a style.
Right.
It's just an acoustic guitar.
Right.
What are you going to do with it? I mean, I don't have to play like Django Reinhardt because he played acoustic guitar.
Right.
Or McLaughlin or Demio or whoever, you think of when you think of acoustic, you know,
Right.
jazz or whatever. So I did my own thing on it, and I don't think anybody can say, "Oh, it sounds like this person or that person or this style or that style." So that's a long answer to a quick question.
Well, I'm gonna pick at it a little bit, if you don't mind,
Absolutely.
to put a little finer point on something. First of all, you're playing an old Guild um, acoustic electric thin line instrument, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Songbird.
Yeah, and no, I'm sorry, I gotta turn this off.
Motherfucker.
Uh, that's my fault. Let me just. I usually do this before we get started.
That's right.
Airplane mode.
Yeah.
Shut up. Um, um, so you're playing basically a hybrid acoustic instrument, if you will. Is it plugged in when you're recording?
No, I think it was plugged in because the engineer sort of wanted a backup in case something
Yeah,
happened, but I don't use that.
yeah.
No,
It's
it
coming.
doesn't.
It's acoustically.
Yeah, the only reason I got that is that particular guitar, and the reason why I use it because it has a real character to it that's distinctive, and when you mic it up close in a studio, you can actually bring out that character even
Right.
more. You know,
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah,
say it also for people that don't know the instrumentation on the record. We've got vibes,
yeah, vibraphone, right?
which I love, and I'm gonna talk
Yeah.
about that in a minute. Drums, percussion. Speaking of shit I don't understand, um, in terms of being able to technically break it down, it's like, man, those
Yeah,
guys,
I know, they're amazing.
what they, what, how they, I don't. Anyway, acoustic guitar, vibraphone, bass, drums. It's an upright bass as well,
Yeah,
and percussion. So, but the acoustic guitar and the vibes really, really complement each other. They're not fighting for space, which is, I think, a great choice. Because sometimes when you hear a vibe in like a big arch top, they will, you got to kind of lay out a little bit. You guys are playing some unison stuff and some ensemble stuff, and it's complementary. There's no fighting for space in the spectrum, and
yeah.
it really really works.
No,
So
no, thank you. That's one of the reasons I did it,
yeah,
because I also Bill, the vibraphone player, Bill Ware, he has a very specific sound on the vibes, the way he attacks it. It's
right,
not so it's not so pingy or raspy. Where
right.
sometimes you hear that, that's a sound in itself. It's but I don't think it would have worked if it was that.
No, it's a lovely tone. I mean, I don't know how to say it other than that, and but it's got its own voice. It doesn't sound like other. It doesn't sound like what you think of when you think of a vibe player, and your guitar doesn't sound like what you think of when you think of an acoustic player playing.
No, thank you. That's kind of the point. Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
closest thing I can think of is when the guys were playing Ovations. you know.
Oh, right, right. Ovations, yeah. But I mean, I've played Ovations for sure. I
But it's
mean,
a different thing.
it
But
really is.
you know, it's not like you're not like playing a D28 or a or a J45 or
Yeah.
an I mean one of the dreadnought flat tops or even an OMs. You know, you're not playing that. You're playing an acoustic instrument that's got a very specific voice, and it sounds great.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I also on the record play a Yamaha, an old Yamaha, which is a real acoustic guitar.
Yeah,
Not real, but it's a full acoustic guitar. It actually has an electric pickup too, but that's on a couple of tracks. And then I play a Washburn. I never thought I would use a Washburn, but this is a custom shop that I got years ago that's really phenomenal.
yeah.
And I took off the frets. I was going to sell it, but then I thought, you know what? This has got a sound. Want to experiment with it. So I had someone take off the frets, and I play that on the Coltrane tune,
Yeah.
um, Lonnie's Lament, and that has a whole different vibe too. And that's kind of a pretty thick body
Did you?
also.
I didn't see that. So did you fill in the slots?
Yeah, the guy, yeah, the,
Yeah. So it's a fretless acoustic guitar.
yeah, basically, yeah. He filled in the slots. Yeah, he did a great job. Guy had 30th Street Guitars in Manhattan.
Oh yeah,
Matt.
yeah. Wow. Now. What cut is that? I mean, I'd like to hear that.
Well, it's Lonnie's Lament. It's
Lonnie's
I
Lament.
think it's the sixth cut.
I'll check it out. I'm gonna make a note here.
Yeah,
I didn't hear.
it's very different, and it sort of helps me bring out this Eastern side of me without being too overt. Like I don't switch my playing up, but when I hear it and when I play it, it just naturally sort of states the less obvious aspects of that music of say Indian music,
Well,
because of the microtones too.
you've got an interesting. You're not as Eastern as say Shakti.
Right. I don't.
You know,
Yeah.
but you definitely have got that. If in the world of painting, you got like an overspray of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, it's
I purposely did not
yeah.
study the sitar, and this really. I mean, I have a lot of friends that actually guitar player friends that actually do that, and then they bring it on the guitar, and it all kind of because I know what it's compared to, so
Right.
it doesn't work for me necessarily, but I'm sure they're getting something out of it. That's just my take on it. Like Shakti is basically one jazz musician sitting in with an Indian group. I mean, that's what it is. So that's a hard comparison too. That's
No, but what I'm saying is that's full blown Indian music,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
John's doing his thing with it. It's an amazing. I mean, I saw the show, and it's when what's his name was still alive. Uh, yeah,
Zakir Hussain.
and it was just unbelievable. I
Yeah,
mean,
I know
it
those
was
guys are incredible.
so amazing. But um, but it is a Western. I mean, John's playing is still very Western. I mean, it highly
Yeah,
Eastern influence, but very Western. Um, and I think your description is perfect. It's a traditional Indian orchestra with a jazz
yeah.
musician laying on top of it. Kind of, sorta. And I want to make sure that I'm being fair. I don't want
Fair,
to be
yeah.
disparaging in any way because it's brilliant.
No, I mean, and especially in the '70s, it was unbelievable. It
Well,
was
I
like,
just saw him
wow,
a couple years ago, and
yeah. Oh, he's
when he was
incredible still.
when they were touring, and it was just magical. I mean, it was just. But anyway, but you have enough of that in there that it's like a hint of it. It's not.
Yeah,
It's a hint of it, so it gives you that flavor, which I really really like because it separates. You're saying your music is indescribable. I'm not going to argue with that because it's hard to describe what you're doing, but um, I was yeah. I mean, it's hard to describe it. One thing that is consistent though is that there is a hint of Eastern influence in all of it. Not
Yeah.
maybe not a lot, maybe some a little bit more in some tracks, but there's a hint there, and which gives it some interesting, it gives it an interesting texture. Um, but mostly it's your composition. So you're not falling into and listen, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but you're not falling
Huh.
to the guitar player trap. You're playing music that you've composed. You're not playing guitar music. Does that make sense? Am I saying that
Yeah,
properly?
I mean, sometimes I do play guitar music because 40 years of whatever, 40 plus years of
Right,
playing guitar. But then the question is, what is guitar music? There certainly is guitar music. It's Americana.
right.
Bill Frisell, one of my
Well,
heroes.
Bill Frisell is definitely the outlier
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're
He's
picking on the
yeah. I mean, yeah, he's like Americana for sure. I mean, it's
yeah,
incredible how he's pulled all these things together, these voices together, and it's just Bill. I mean, on any instrument, any tune,
yeah.
it's he's a
He's
hero.
he's got everybody's respect. That's
Yeah, jeez.
well, yeah.
But
Describe your playing because I'm doing a horrible job of it.
oh well, of course, it's indescribable again, But to go back to that, but well, boy, you know, it's really
Let me back you up.
yeah.
Who are your guitar influences? Who are the people that influence you the most?
Well, I think that the two top people are probably Jim Hall, number one, Wes Montgomery, and George Benson. Like those, that kind of area. I mean, I see a huge difference between Jim and Wes,
Huge. Yeah.
and Benson is on the West side, obviously, and then on the Jim side is or are like people like Schofield, Matheny, Purcell, Abercrombie,
Right.
McGoodrick, So then you got that whole other generation, that whole school.
Right. Yeah.
So these two planes of thinking, I guess, not thinking, but articulating, of are very essential to me. But I think, like most guitar players, would say, mature guitar players, they would probably say they're more influenced by saxophonists and pianists. That's what
Yeah.
we've heard many times. And in my case, I'm really influenced by drummers too. It's not a melodic thing per se, but I listen to the drums more than anything in a band. Maybe too much, because sometimes I'm just so focused on the drums that wait a minute,
Right.
I have to open my awareness up a little bit harder. So I'm actually practicing that right now. Yeah, because I recognize that's maybe not the greatest idea
Well, you choose to play with some very active drummers.
sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah. It seems. I mean, I'm just picking on the sample of stuff that I've listened to,
yeah, yeah,
and there's a lot going on in the drum tracks. There's a
yeah,
lot. There's and you have percussion players are a big part of what you do, and and I c- I can see I have a tendency to be the same way. I listen to the drummer and the bass player. That's what I listen to. I almost don't pay attention.
yeah.
The piano player, I'm assuming he's gonna do something cool, but
He or she, yeah,
he or she, excuse me.
yeah. These days there's so
But,
many.
that doesn't affect me as much as what the drummer and the bass player are doing. So
I know, I know.
yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, the drummer for sure, the hierarchy, then the bass, and then the rest. But I'm trying to really, I seriously, am trying to just hear the whole, be aware of the whole one sound
Right.
at this point. But it's my internal communication that wants, especially when I'm soloing. I'm saying this
Yeah.
is all about when I'm soloing,
Right.
uh,
I got
not when someone else is soloing, because then I'm definitely focused. But but when I'm soloing, it's like the rhythmical thing. It's just, I mean, like Thelonious Monk said, my ultimate hero. Um, make the drummer sound good when you're soloing, and that to me just boom, that just hit hard. I just read that maybe 8 years ago or something. But before that, I was always feeling that. And then when he said it, I was like, oh man, that's exactly right.
I played a lot with a drummer from Africa
Hmm.
and a
Yeah.
bass player from Africa as well, and I don't now. There was a jam session here in Atlanta that I went to every Thursday night, and he was part of the house band, and I would go do 2 or 3 tunes, and, um, and my goal was always to turn around and see if he was smiling, what we were
Yeah.
doing. My goal was to make him the drummer, make him because you talk about, stuff that's just, otherworldly for me anyway, maybe not for your ears, but for my ears. And, if I could make connect with him, I felt like I had made my month, I made my day. So I have
Yeah.
to get that because that when I listen to a lot of guitar players, more than anything these days, and I love Bill Evans, and
Oh,
but I listen to a lot of guitar, and for me, the thing that the final criteria is really time and how
right.
they're how they're interacting with the time.
Yeah.
What are they doing with the time? What are they doing with their own time? What are they doing with the time of the other musicians that are playing? Are they playing off of it? Are they playing on it? Are they playing in front of it, behind it?
I know.
Is there a conversation going on there? Or are they just, looking for the pocket, Um,
So
and
subtle.
there's nothing, and the and you go, well, if that guy just played that, and that guy just played that, and that guy did, but why do I like that guy? Because they're, I mean, what is it about that guy that you go, wow,
Mhm.
that's something very, very special. And near as I can figure, it's their ability to be with time, you know?
Yeah, and their ability to adjust to other people's time.
Yeah,
That's like a huge thing that's not talked about too much. Um, I remember, like, for instance, I was playing with someone who dragged a lot. I'm just trying to remember,
yeah,
and sort of duo guitar. And I thought, instead of me voicing my opinions, which, like, hey, you're dragging, I went with it because that is more of a lesson to me than telling him, hey, don't drag, because perfection is not going to be there ever, really.
you
Uh,
don't
you
want
know,
it. You don't want it because then you might as well put it on a grid and have them compute.
well, well, if you're playing with James Brown, you probably want it, but like the time perfection thing. But if it's like a jazz, situation, the time is as long as everybody's moving together, that's what counts. And in this situation, I was like, I can either do that or I can just check myself and really, like, play behind the beat. And that taught me something, in
Yeah,
terms of communicating. And
reminds me of the scene in Whiplash
oh,
where
oh, that very controversial movie.
where he's berating that poor kid for, you're dragging, you're rushing, you're dragging, you're rushing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be a real burden to play uh, with a drummer who rushes and drags
right.
too much, because it's different when you're playing with a harmonic instrument. You have harmony, you have the bass, you have,
Yeah,
but somehow with the drums, it's like, it's like if they're dragging or rushing, yes, you want to take the opportunity to connect with them, but at the same time, it's, you have to ask yourself what the music is supposed to say.
yeah,
I mean, if it's slowing down, it's not giving you that focal point of forward momentum that you maybe composed it for, or with in mind.
no, I'm looking something up while I'm talking to you and listening to you. Well, yeah, I think it depends on the a lot depends on the composition, and what kind of a tune is this. I mean, to your point, James Brown. I mean, the pocket is everything at James. You don't want to be there. Um, I had a conversation with Carmen and Tori Jr. Do you know who he is? He was Pat Martino's last drummer.
Oh, okay.
and he was with Pat for a long time, and I saw Pat playing in a small club, and he used to play with a Marshall 412 cabinet.
What?
He had a little solid state. I can't remember. I think it might have been acoustic image or something like that. Amp.
Okay.
But he had a 412 cabinet, and he used those those heavy strings
Oh
on a,
yeah,
on a solid body guitar. And his time was he was metronome, and he was metronomic, I should say.
I know.
And and it was like when he played, he was the drummer, in that. I mean, he drove everything. I mean, he drove like, you're coming with me or you're off the bus. And I I walked up to Carmen. I said, "So Carmen, you know, um, you got quite a job there, to deal with that." Because he knew what I meant, because
Yeah,
he was like, and Carmen is amazing. He was a great drummer, and he did an amazing job with Pat, but because they were a organ trio most of the time.
nice.
And but it was his guitar playing with that 412 cabinet coming off the stage was boom, 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 boom. And it was like,
Yeah, he was like louder than the drummer probably.
oh yeah, no, his it was like listening to a kick drum with pitch. It
That's
had that
great.
kind of, it had that kind of impact, because 412s is formidable, and
Yeah,
especially,
yeah.
you know, it,
No, no, Pat was definitely a special. I tried his guitar after he passed away. We did a tribute album with a bunch of guitarists, and the person who owned his guitar, something was there, so I tried it, and yeah, it played beautifully, but yeah, the strings were really thick. Uh, I don't really understand. See, I like to hammer and pull off a little bit on the left hand to be
right,
more of a saxophone
right.
type. I don't think Pat did that, and I don't think George Benson does that either. So it's a different kind of style you're talking about. I mean, it's with those eighth notes, just you know. But you can
So
have
you're on Joe Donofrio's record, right?
Joe.
The Pat Martino tribute record. Are you on that record?
Joel Harrison produced it.
Yeah, but it was Joe. Yeah, it was Joe. Yeah, right. We
It's
promoted that
it's
record.
on High Note.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Did
So that
some promotion of that. I remember when that was done.
yeah. I mean, so there, like so it's a percentage thing. Like I think my percentage and my ideal percentage would be 60% picking, 40 or 70 and 30 or something like that, picking versus slurring. And so everybody has this thing. Alan Holdsworth, of course, what
Yeah.
that would be like maybe 20% picking and 80% slurring.
Well, Joe Pass slurred. I mean, he did hammer on pull offs and all that kind
Yeah,
of.
he did. Yeah, he did some of that. It just depends on you know when you're looking back at your playing and seeing what you want to project.
Right,
I guess it's a good thing to ask yourself, what is the percentage here? I mean,
right.
really scientifically check it out and see, like, wow, okay, I'm picking like 90% of my stuff. That's cool, but if is that what you want, or do you want to be a little bit more like a saxophone player? Because that's more like a piano. Like Pat was more like a piano player to me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I would. I I know that he was highly influenced by the horn players. I know that was his thing, but his technique.
Maybe linearly,
Yeah,
but not as much phraseology.
yeah, but he definitely, there wasn't any hammer-ons or pull-offs that I ever
Not much.
detected.
Sometimes like a
Yeah,
little thing,
right.
but it wasn't in between the lines and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
for the most part, it was articulated picking.
But that's why you can have such thick strings, because you're not depending on your left hand to
Right.
feed the fire as much as.
And we have a real strong relationship with Benedetto, and
Yeah,
I played Pat's setup,
exactly.
that they sent to him and several times, and it really, even though the strings were so thick, it really wasn't very difficult to play.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's very low action.
yeah, you can't slur so much, but but it wasn't. It
For
wasn't.
about 2 minutes, you can. After that, I was like, oh man, it's like, man, forget this.
Where's the ibuprofen? You know,
Yeah,
I
no,
got.
that's
So let's talk about
good.
your record,
Sure.
which I think is the most. It came out in June.
Yeah, late June, yeah,
Yeah.
July, June, yeah,
And so are you, just so people know, the lineup is vibes,
yeah,
drums. We talked about this with vibes, drums, bass, percussion,
percussion, yeah, and
and
acoustic
you.
guitar, yeah.
And but the composition is all you. It's all original, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, no, there's the Coltrane tune,
All right.
Lonnie's Lament,
That's
and then
right.
there's a Keith Jarrett tune called Questar.
Okay. But
Um,
you compose most a lot of it.
well, I composed the rest of it
Yeah, the
basically,
rest
so
of it. So
80%.
yeah, so it's and it's I I I I listened to when your publicist got a hold of me and I she sent me your stuff and I listened to it because that's what I do. I get a lot of requests for people that want me to do this. I don't know why, but I do. And but when I listened to your stuff, I thought, wow, that's something new and different. And
Mm.
I mean, I saw I guess I saw what the Guggenheim people saw, and even though
Oh, that's
I'm
beautiful.
not Guggenheim or anything, or we're not Guggenheim or anything, but um but the music is for people out there listening. The music is really fresh and interesting, and it's performed impeccably. I mean,
Nice, very nice of you to say.
you're a fine guitarist for sure. All the musicians are really good. They're all, as we like to say around here, they're all serving the music. You know,
Yeah,
they're not serving themselves. They're all serving the music, and it shows. There's no there's a if there's an ego, it's a collective ego that
yeah, I see what you mean. That's an interesting way to put it.
yeah that presents that presents their gift, their offering. Um,
Sounds Freudian.
Yeah, well, I don't know about I don't know if I know anything about any Freudian, but it sure does sound that way to me.
It's a
Anyway,
slip.
but it's a beautiful piece of work. It really is. And do you get to perform it live?
What we're trying, it's a quintet,
Yeah.
so it takes a certain kind of venue to present us. Like I don't present it much in New York because the venues are, they're small and they can't pay enough
Yeah,
for.
you got to really take this to a concert hall.
Yeah, I know.
A small, small like
I know what you mean. Yeah,
you got to take
Instead
it
of a
to
jazz club necessarily.
yeah, it's kind of tough. You got to take it to like a 300 seater,
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah,
and where you can really present the art. Um, the it, it's tough. Well, it's tough for your typical jazz club to pay five guys and make it worth their while. Now, if they don't have to travel anywhere and they're just doing it on a Wednesday night or an off night when they're not
right,
practicing,
right.
then you can kind of pull it off. But in that environment, can you really get the listening experience that people need to have in order to really get what you're doing? That
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
that's the problem.
yeah, I mean, clubs are fine too. We've done it in clubs. I mean, this is the third album with these guys.
Right.
Now, the third one, this one, I added the percussion. The previous two didn't have percussion, so it's just a quartet. And we've played Newport Jazz Festival. We played, couple of nice venues like the ones you're talking about,
Yeah.
and then a bunch of clubs. But it's not easy to be a band leader and manage a quintet. If it was a trio, I'd probably be on the road a lot more. But right now, I'm not really accepting anything unless it makes sense. Like
Right.
I don't want to go through what I've gone through many times in the past.
Putting five guys on the road is not only is it expensive, but you've got five individuals that have their own personal habits.
Yeah, yeah,
And
totally. Yeah,
yeah.
we won't get into that.
And they also have I mean, even if it's all legal.
Well, these days it is legal.
Yeah, I was gonna say even if it's all legal, and it depends on what. Yeah, it's still, I know that I'm a bit older than all these guys, but I mean, I'm so set in my ways that
Yeah, yeah,
I
totally. I know what you're talking
is
about.
this coffee from Starbucks or where did this
Yeah,
come from?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Is
How
this the
much
dark
caffeine?
roast?
How much caffeine is in this? And where are we eating? I mean,
Yeah, I hear you.
and
Totally.
a little bit of that, for a night or two you can handle, but you take that out for a week or a month or something like that, and you
Yeah,
listen to some idiot like me, that's got all of his little quirks, and
yeah,
and then you get a guy that's not conscious of that, so
yeah.
he thinks he's normal.
Yeah, yeah. Or I'm trying to be a vegan this week, or
Yeah,
I'm on
right.
a steak diet this week, only
Yeah, I'm
steak.
gonna
It's like,
only
wow,
yeah,
yeah.
only steak this week.
You chose it this week.
It's part of the per diem, right? Um, I think an
Yeah, I bet.
average steak dinner these days is about $50
Oh,
if you can
everything's going up.
find it that cheap.
Yeah,
But,
well,
it's hard to put 5 guys on the it's hard to put 5 guys on the road, but
yeah. I mean, these guys are all cool. We've known each other, so those kind of dilemmas don't rise up that much. But still, I know what you mean. You never know, right? I
yeah,
mean, but it's more of the financial thing. I mean, if I'm ready to lose, money, sure, I'll go push this band somewhere. But to me, it's like I'm so into the recording process right now. I think that serves the world a lot. I mean, live music is very important. Don't get me wrong, but if I can't afford to bring the band out, I'm not going to not do a recording. Like
yeah,
I did this recording because of inspiration and because I had the music. I mean, I wanted to write the music and I thought it was time to do it. And I didn't think that past that. I know the world can enjoy it if it wants to. That's really essential for me.
I don't know one musician that enjoys touring.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. That's
Yeah, they don't nobody I mean,
looks great on paper.
most of the time what they say is, "I play for free, you pay me to travel."
Interesting.
They love to play. They
Yeah,
love to be out in front of the audiences, that's great.
sure.
I the Rolling Stones could call me and I'd have to tell them no. Even I don't care how much money they got. To do what those guys do and living in a hotel for a year
So
and a half straight.
yeah. Well, it's interesting you say that. My friend plays with the Rolling Stones, and they just canceled their summer tour
Yeah,
last
which
month.
who is that plays with them?
Tim Reese, he's a saxophone player,
Oh,
great
okay.
jazz saxophone player, but he's been with them for, oof, man, 25 years at least.
Yeah. Well,
So,
man, that I couldn't do that.
right. Well, I mean, you
He's
know,
getting paid well to do it.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
um, but when the tour is canceled,
Yeah,
they don't really get paid. So,
you're screwed. Yeah.
yeah. So this is, and they're getting really old, so that's not a thing
No,
to bet on anymore.
yeah, no, they're in their 80s now, so
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
not like they need the money.
I wouldn't think so.
No, no, they don't need that, so they don't need the money. So that anyway, I maybe that was not a very good choice, but my point is that getting on a bus and traveling from town to town is that's a for me anyway, that's a younger man's game. And I know that most of the
Yeah.
guys that I talk to, they don't really enjoy the travel part of it, but they do love the audiences, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Even going back to Bill Frisell, I heard an interview of his, which was 20 years ago or something. I
Yeah.
just stumbled on it. And even then, he was saying, he hates the traveling and it's all doing this for 1 hour of playing for people. He's like, wow. He's like, but he loves being in front of the audience, but it's like the whole 23 hours of trying to get there and then play 1 hour. It's like, he was also like
Yeah.
flabbergasted by it. Like,
I don't know if I would mind that so much. What I would mind is never getting to go home. It's like being out for months at a time. These guys go out for 2, 3, 4 months, and they
well, you're talking about the rock band things, yeah,
yeah,
for sure, yeah,
yeah. But in the jazz world, they typically go out, come home, go out, come home, or go out and do
yeah.
like a week, up and down, and all that kind of thing. But
It could be fun. I mean, it's definitely fun if things are if you're not waking up at 5 in the morning every single day or
right,
whatever to catch the next.
are you teaching?
Yeah, I teach at the new school.
You do teach at the new school.
Yeah, and mostly right now, mostly private. But I was teaching private lessons, that is. But I was also
Right.
teaching ensemble and whatnot. And yeah, I've come across some really talented guitar players. I mean, it's like, how old are you?
Oh man.
19 years old. You play like that? Oh my God! So it's a slap in the face in a way. I mean, I'm not obviously comparing, but I'm comparing to my 19-year-old self.
Yeah, you
You know
can't
how
do that.
we do that. You know how we do that though, and I'm
Yeah, no, but
realizing.
you can't do that. It's
I
I had
know.
a
Well,
conversation with Eric Johnson
oh yeah,
about Cliffs of Dover.
yeah.
And he had said in an interview, he said, 12 and 13-year olds are playing it, better than I can play it. And so
Wow. No.
in my interview, I said to him, I said, yeah, I heard your comment about 12 and 13-year olds. He says, Bob, now they're down to 8 and 9-year olds.
Ah,
I thought- so the thing that the younger guys, and some of them have it, I'm not, but it's when it transitions from an athletic endeavor, in other words, how fast can I play, how many notes can I play, how many scales can I play, what can I rip up and down shredding, initially, I think everybody wants to do that because it's impressive, and that's what the
yeah,
when it transfers that into something of how do I communicate with people with this instrument, um, and I think that takes for most of the people, that takes some time to get used to. There's, Pasquale Grasso is a guy that
oh yeah,
is transcended that. I mean, I think he just grew up soulful, but but uh, and he's in his 30s, but I mean, for most of the guys, their chops are just insane. It's like, wow. We If Eric Clapton could have done that in the '60s, they would have called him more than God. I mean, they wouldn't have known because if you go back and look at what the state of the art was back then compared to what it is today, it's ridiculous. But anyway,
yeah. It's a YouTube. It's a YouTube generation. It's what it is.
and I
Really
love it.
is.
I mean, I have to
It's
admit,
amazing.
if I'm going out and doing a gig, and and I know that there's certain music, I'll go on YouTube and listen to what other people have done with it. I mean, if I'm playing tunes that those kinds of tunes, and I listen to other people and all that kind of stuff, and then go, wait, what the hell's he doing? Or
Oh,
I
it's
mean, I
what a
if
tool.
if I wanna fix my dryer, it's where I go.
Exactly.
So, anyway, so I wish you a lot of luck with the record.
Yeah. Thank you.
The name of the record is
Sound remains.
"Sound Remains." Where'd you get that from?
It's coming off of the idea of meditation, and when I finally feel like, like there's a lot of confusion about meditation, right? And so when I meditate, um, obviously there's a lot of thoughts going on, and just like everybody else, and you let them pass by. But when I get into that state, it generally was that.
The third eye, when you get to that place?
No, I don't know if it's the third eye, but when I get to that state of nothingness,
Right,
it becomes like sound is all that remains.
right.
It's sort of like I'm not thinking to myself, but afterwards I'm like, wow, that's I just heard nothingness, and there's no sound of thinking, there's no sound of any one thing. It's all like all one, and it's interesting, but on a more utilitarian level,
No,
I I
I can I fully appreciate what you're saying.
yeah, I mean, but in a more useful level, I also like in terms of useful in music, I try and think like that, or hear like that when I'm playing with people now. So it's only sound. It's not me chattering. It's not anything but a full. And that's what I was talking about with the like not just hearing the drums anymore,
Right.
because that's it's like just hearing what's there and reacting, and not thinking about myself and the playing that I'm doing. I'm just one element of the wholeness kind of thing. It's you know that that's what sound remains means to me.
Oh, I love it. I
You
love
know,
it. You're preaching to a preacher, and I won't digress into that. But
we talk about that on during with coffee or something. If I show up to Atlanta, you're in
yeah,
Atlanta, Georgia,
yeah. I live down.
or
Well,
if you're in New York,
it's a suburb of Atlanta. I mean, I'm right.
that's a
I'm a mile or so outside of the city limits.
oh, that's perfect.
But yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, it. Well, I play all day. I play guitar every day, like for hours. Uh,
Wow, you still can do that, huh? That's
well, I do. I mean, I'm other I do things besides this, but I've got a Stratocaster next to my leather chair that I watch YouTube or wherever I'm watching if I'm watching anything. And then I've got a 335-ish kind of guitar right here, and a big arch top right there, a telly right here, and
wow.
another arch top right here.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Custom
Who is that? Who
instrument.
wrote? Who?
Ryan Thorell built this. He's out of
Jeez,
Utah.
there's so
Uh,
many great builders these days too, man.
oh my God, and they're so young,
That really,
and
that looks great.
they're all. This guitar has um, if you lived closer, I would loan it to you for a record because I've never heard
Wow,
another instrument that sounds like this. It's made out of myrtle wood, and
never even heard of that.
it's got these unusual sound holes, and it's somewhere between a flat top, an arch top, and a Django guitar.
Oh wow,
It's got a really and I will tell you this, like an acoustic instrument, it's a bitch to play it because it's completely unforgiving of technique. Uh,
yeah, that's I know acoustics
Yeah,
can be like that.
you can't if your technique's not good, you don't get anything out of it. But if it's good, the world opens up. It's your oyster. And of course, I can't since I play a Strat over there most of the time.
Exactly.
It takes me a couple of hours to get used to playing this, where I can almost make it sound
Yeah.
reasonable. I won't say I've ever mastered the instrument. Now, of course, it's modeled after the Frank Vignola model that he built years
Oh yeah.
ago, and I gave it to Frank to try out. I've had that instrument maybe 15, 20 years now, and I gave it to Frank when he was here to try out, and he picked it up and immediately made it sound glorious. So,
Yeah.
you know, due respect.
Yeah. You have
Anyway,
to be used to. You have to be used to.
you,
You know,
if I
I can't go from acoustic to electric so quick
I
anymore.
used
I
to
mean,
play this. I gigged with this thing for about 5 or 6 years. I played it all the time, and I was, I've got recordings of me playing it where I'm playing it competently.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
but that was then. This is now.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like, now I sit over there. The Strat's got really low action. It's got nines on it, and I just invent stuff on it. Talk about slurs and all that kind of thing.
yeah,
And and that's where I do the practicing. But I can't take that guitar to a stage because it's too light. As soon as I hit the stage, I need a little more meat and a little higher action and
yeah,
all. It's a lot. It's crazy. With us guitar players, we're nuts,
yeah.
certifiable for sure.
Well, I mean, someone like McLaughlin can still do his thing at 80 years old, so it's there's no excuse.
Have you ever met him?
Yeah, a couple of times. Yeah, yeah, he's a really sweet guy.
What a lovely human being. I've interviewed him a
Yeah,
couple of times, and what a lovely human being he is,
I know.
and his abilities are just crazy. And the things that conical, which I'm sure you're very aware of, all these things that he um, introduced me to, vis-a-vis his music and things that he's written and all.
Yeah, yeah,
I think he's Eric Clapton was a big influence on me, coming along, but I think from a musical expansion point of view, John McLaughlin
yeah. He's very
been the guy.
inclusive in many styles. Also,
Yeah,
like or
he's great.
styles is not a good word
No,
as
yeah,
we
it's
talked about.
the indescribable.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the indescribable, which I love, by the way. That's a great description. Well, listen,
That's a great description.
I'm gonna thank you very much for your time,
Yeah, thank you,
and I
Bob.
appreciate. I think the project, which is called
Sound Remains.
Sound Remains by Rez Abbasi, which is available everywhere,
Yeah,
is a really, really good project, and I highly commend it and think that I think you should, pick up a copy of it, give it a whirl. I think you'll be very happy that you did, because it's a flavor that you don't hear all the time, but yet it's going to be comfortable. It's a really good, interesting new thing, and I love it. I think it's
yeah, thank you. It
really,
means a
really.
lot to me from you. Yeah, definitely.
Oh well,
No, no, you've
you're
interviewed a lot of people and you have run
uh,
the
well. I have done that. I've interviewed a lot of people. I've listened to a lot of it.
exactly. That's
And
what I mean.
I almost know what I'm talking about most of the time, but
Hey,
don't take that too far.
80% I'll take.
Well, have a great day. Thanks. Bob Bakert. By the way, if you like what you're hearing today, please subscribe, listen, share, follow. And I do a horrible job of promoting, but we keep growing despite my horrible job of promoting. But jazzguitartoday.com. Send your friends. Again, like, share, follow, promote. We really do appreciate it. You can, take us with you on your phone, and just listen to the audio, because that's, as pretty as I am. You know, Y'all have a great day. Thanks, Rez. I really appreciate
All
it,
right,
man.
Bob. We'll
All
see
right.
you soon.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
Anytime. Hey,
Absolutely.
when you got something, give me a shout. Get a hold of me somehow, some way. Consider you're part of the family. So
Thank you, man.
anytime you got a new thing going on, or you want to talk about something, or you got an
All
idea,
right.
just give me a shout. We'll get this going. Thanks,
All
buddy.
right. Sounds great, man. We'll
All
we'll
right.
see you soon. Thank you.
Bye bye.